No, hold on, I'm done.
Yeah, so this is different. This is not the day I normally stream on. But hey,
Yeah, it's Wednesday somewhere.
it's Wednesday somewhere. I don't think that works, but you know what? We'll run with it. Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Your once weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff, and I've got a special guest on the show today. You might recognize him, you might not, but who are you, and why should we care?
I'm Adam. Adam Pector Murray from PC World and the Full Nerd Podcast. Hello. Thank you for having me on, Jeff.
Thank you.
This is a great time. So far, 30 seconds in, and I'm having a great time.
Excellent. Well, I hope it gets better from here. I hope we didn't peak already.
Yeah, well, when do we crack open the beer?
Oh,
is there a time?
Pretty much as soon as I get through the intro. So,
oh, okay.
Thank you all so much for joining us on this Friday, or, gosh, my whole intro is off because I normally stream on Wednesday. It's so well rehearsed usually. I usually say on this Wednesday night, or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. But no, it's Friday. It's Friday at 2 in the afternoon. So if you're drinking a beer with us, cool, let's do that. Let me see if I can do the intro. Your once with live show, the latest in beer and tech news. Thank you for joining us on this Friday, or over on Spotify on the replay, or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you've never seen the show before, we talk beer, we talk tech, we talk games, pop culture, entertainment, sometimes some Star Trek, if you can tell by the decor. All super chats are run on the air so long as they will not permanently demonetize the channel. We do drink alcohol in the show, and if you're drinking along with us, alcoholic or not, let us know in the chat, and we'll give some early show shoutouts as we go along. Last but not least, if you'd like to take part in the super secret chat and the even more super secret after party, think about joining the Patreon. Link is down in the video description. And as a bonus, you'll get exclusive access to my Discord server where you can chat with myself, John, Rhett, Steve, Adam, because he's over there too, and all the other hosts from Talking Heads, and join the awesome community that hangs out over there.
That was good. That was a professional intro.
Thank you.
Not like the one I do. So.
Like I said, it change one word on it though, and it all goes to crap. So you got to put it together from scratch. But thank you for joining the show.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
we're here to talk tech and beer.
That's right.
Two of my favorite things.
Absolutely.
And we got beards.
Yeah. And we both have beards. That's right. Cool. Let's go ahead and open a beer. And while you're opening yours, I do have a question for you. Have you seen my most recent server edition?
I saw the thumbnail.
Okay.
The beer cooler. Yes. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I usually save all my weekly videos and then just binge on the weekend.
Okay,
so.
Well, you're going to get a sneak preview. So go ahead and open your beer, but I'm going to go full screen on mine so I can go get my beer out of my beer fridge.
There you go. Nice. Ooh. Oh, okay. I see what you're doing there. You're showing off. Look at that. Oh, and he's opening it up from the top. How many can he fit in there? I don't know. He can't hear me. Oh, and he's picking a good one. I hope. Okay, now I don't have a rack machine in my office. How many can you fit in there?
It fits about 8 pints. It's not a lot.
I mean, still more than I got.
Right.
So.
It's more than most server racks can hold. So there is
like
that.
Yeah. Well, what'd you pick? I'm dying to know.
Who is this even by? This is Ilk Beer from Olympia, Washington. This is the Blow the Whistle West Coast IPA.
Ooh.
This one
cool.
was dropped off to me by American Cosworth, one of the users on my Discord server, and he gave this to me at PDX LAN this last weekend. So,
man, your fans give you beer? Dang.
Constantly, and it's
I'm on the
amazing.
wrong channel. Jeez, that sucks.
Right. I go to events and I come home with literally 12 or 16 beers like every single time. And
oh man,
this was no different. So,
well, mine is from local Oakland brewery, Temescal Brewing. This is the Noche, my favorite, the Mexican style amber lager.
Excellent.
So yeah. Oh, and I forgot to put it in my craft computing glass.
Yeah. See, I've got a whole like vortex going on in this.
I know.
Like,
I have one, but it's not near me. So cheers. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah.
Cheers. All right.
Oh, and somebody in the chat says because we're a community that follows directions to the letter all the time. All right, so you instruct your community to give you beer.
Yes, I do. Every live show, there is my address in the description. You can send me packages. Just know,
Like your actual house?
no,
Like, could I show
no,
up there? Ah,
no.
dang it.
It is a secure virtual office PO box.
Ah,
So
okay.
yeah, it's under lock and key. It's not something that you can visit, but um, yeah, it's nice to be able to receive fan mail and packages and things like that. I've gotten all sorts of fun stuff. About a year ago, someone sent me a Threadripper motherboard and processor, which was great.
Dang.
A
Dang.
2970WX, so a Zen 2 Threadripper, 24 core. Yeah, Rhett is enjoying that as his personal rig right now. So
Wow,
yeah.
wow. Yeah, well, the only things we get at the PC World offices are letters from inmates who have old issues of PC World in the jail, and they send us a check to sign up for a subscription, not knowing we don't print magazines anymore because
Yeah.
those magazines are probably really old. And
Y-
so, yeah, I always
Yeah.
feel really bad because I'm like, dang, somebody probably needs this money in jail.
Right.
Like, we don't cash the checks, obviously. So,
Right. Right.
but they also never get their magazines.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I I wish there was a way we could provide print material to inmates and people who may not have access to computers anymore. I don't know. I mean, I've talked about this with you before. Like, Maximum PC is one of the main reasons I got into doing tech as a job.
Mm-hmm.
And reading the magazines and seeing the reviews that came out every week or every month, and because the internet was a different place in the year 1998.
Oh
So
yes. Oh yes.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, actually, I feel like been this weird groundswell of people who want paper delivered to them.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've been talking with one Will Smith from Brad and Will Made a Tech Pod and
Mm-hmm.
also The Full Nerd. And he was talking about doing his new newsletter, which is next.content.town.
Mm-hmm.
Has already looked into maybe printing it like a zine kind of format kind of thing. So, yeah,
That'd be kind of fun. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think I do wonder what's there is one publication out there that still prints magazines. What is it? Oh, I can't remember. For PC hardware specifically, I can't remember. There is one company left out there, but
Is it PC Gamer? Are they still
is it
doing?
PC Gamer? I don't know if it's PC Gamer or not,
I don't remember. Yeah.
but I don't know. I feel like there might be a market there. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. A return to hard copy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love taking photos. Like man, I would love to because I started before or after PC World stopped printing,
Yeah.
so I've never experienced that joy of hellish print cycles,
Yeah.
deadlines, and stuff like that. So maybe I don't actually want to do that.
Yeah.
But
We reminisce, but I've also never produced something for print. Like I've my journalistic endeavors have always been 100% digital. So yeah.
yeah, maybe somebody needs to figure that out.
Yeah.
They'll come full circle.
Yeah, I do remember doing physical media stuff. Like, uh, I grew up, learning photography and things like that. And my dad actually had a dark room in one of our bathrooms. We converted a bathroom over to a dark room, and I would actually,
Nice.
physically produce prints and whatnot. So that was always fun. And one of my early jobs in the early 2000s was I worked in a film studio or portrait studio where we would produce prints there. So I would develop the film and print the prints on photographic paper and whatnot. And I worked on the machines, and that was a lot of fun as well.
Wow.
I
Yeah, I'm
miss
jealous.
I miss the physical prints, but at the same time, I don't miss the process of that because that
Really? Because
is
that's weird. I usually feel like most people are miss the process. You know, the smell of the dark room and just the hanging out and,
I
waiting for
don't
things to
miss
develop.
getting fixer on
No.
my hands and on my clothes and ruining pants and and all the things
Okay.
that
All
went
right.
into that.
I never
So
did it, so I don't know.
yeah.
How's your brew? Is it
That
good?
is really good. Um, it's very crisp. It's very dry,
Hmm.
but nice clear IPA. Um, Definitely not on the citrus side of things. It's more of an earthy dry IPA, which I kind of like.
You
Yeah.
get some of that salt of the earth, aka dirt,
Yeah.
just in there.
Yeah.
Actually, so I lived in Pittsburgh for a couple years in the mid
Okay.
2000s, and they had a beer out there called Iron City. Have you
Hmm.
heard of that? Yeah. So its claim to fame was that it was in the aluminum bottles before it was cool,
Oh, okay.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know for sure, but they always said, oh, they had to use aluminum bottles because too many people were starting bar fights with glass bottles because it's Pittsburgh
Well, that
and
tracks for
rough and
Pittsburgh.
rowdy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the other thing they used to say is that they used to put soot in the beer because when it was like when most beer is like too clean, and so when all these steel mill workers get off after work, they're just like, oh, this is too clean. I need some soot in there and
Yeah. Yeah.
dirty it up a little bit.
I need to
So
taste the iron filings, otherwise I'm not really a man or
exactly.
something. Yeah.
I don't know. I who knows? Urban beer legends, I guess. I was never a big fan. I was a Yingling guy. I love Yingling.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it was dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Speaking of dirt and good.
Over here, I've always been a 10 barrel pub beer fan. That's our really inexpensive lager. 10 barrels made out in Bend, Oregon. And it's actually an Anheuser-Busch property now, but 10 barrels managed to keep a lot of autonomy there. So Anheuser-Busch does all the
That's good.
distribution, but they still have basically full autonomy over what they brew, which is awesome.
Hmm.
But yeah, pub
That's good.
beer is uh, you can get it in an 18 pack for often less than $15. So 88 cents a beer or something like that. Like
Dang.
it's pretty reasonable and pretty darn good. So
Sorry, did you said it was a lager or like
yeah, it's a
what?
lager.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah,
yeah.
nice. Well, Dr. Ian Cuttress is in the chat and he says proper beer has dirt in it. I'm hearing him say that, in his accent, in the word proper.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also like I don't know. Do you like those room temperature beers that they serve over there?
Yes, actually.
Yeah.
If you ever make it up here, we've got
Which I need to. Yes.
yes, absolutely. We've got what I consider a proper British pub in a brewery called St Anne Brewing. It's one of our favorite local spots. We've done a couple of podcasts from there, in fact, and it's very much a local hangout for a lot of my friends. But not only do they try to serve proper British bar food, so you've got your
Bangers and
very
mash.
good fish and chips. They've got bangers and mash. They've got a whole bunch of different selections like that. They also do your standard taps where you can pour a tap and it's carbonated and cold and everything like that. They also do cask ales that are non-carbonated, room temperature, 55 degrees Fahrenheit, and very different. But they do British style beers there, but they also do cask beers of those same recipes, and so you can get them non-carbonated there at the pub. They're
Yeah.
fantastic.
I'm trying to think. Like one of my favorite local uh, places. Every once in a while, we'll do something on cask, but it's not often I see it around the
Mhm.
places I go to. I mostly go straight to breweries
Yeah.
to get beer, and usually they don't have any sort of cask stuff.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, it's just not my jam. I, I like dark stuff. I like stouts, porters,
Yep.
dark lagers.
They do make a Maibach there. That's one of my favorites.
Mm,
That they also do in cask finish. That's absolutely excellent. They
mm,
also have one of my favorite standard stouts, which is actually aged in rum barrels. You can get
mm.
it 12 months a year. It's called the Pirate Stout, and it is phenomenal.
Good name. Good name. I like it.
Yes. Yeah. Uh, let's see. We do
And
have
I'm
a
sorry,
couple.
Jamie. Yeah, I'm not, not trying to take the mick out of you. I'm not trying to take your piss either.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
We do have a couple of beer shout outs to do. Gabriel's drinking a big can of Foster's, 25 ounce, 5%. That'll get the
that was
job done on a Friday
yeah.
afternoon.
I was my mom drank that when I was in high school. Yeah.
Let's see. I thought I saw a couple more. Williams got his usual Badger Hill Brewing Badger Snack Peanut Butter Stout, clocking in at
Yeah. Ooh,
6.3%.
that's thick.
Yeah.
I can just taste it or feel it in my mouth right now.
I think that's all I see. Is just those two. Jason's got a zero sugar ginger ale.
Mm.
That's pretty solid.
Are you familiar with Fieldwork Brewing?
Have not heard of them. No.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's one of the larger ones here in the Bay Area, but
Mm-hmm.
the they make really good root beer.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
like I had it on stream yesterday when we did our build,
Uh-huh.
and it's not zero sugar. It's definitely got sugar in it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Is it more like a classic sarsaparilla root beer, or is it?
no, it's more like Barks. Like
Okay,
Barks was always my favorite root beer.
that's a solid choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
like maybe that's why I like it, but it feels like a elevated version of Barks, I guess. I don't
Okay. Nice. Like that.
know.
Very cool. Well, we do have some news to get to. This is a
I
news show
guess.
after all. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah,
Let's go ahead and start out with one of the reasons I wanted to have you on was kind of get another reviewer's perspective on not only the 5060 Ti that launched this week, but kind of the whole 5000 series launch. Mine is on the shelf. Oh no, sorry, you can't see it. It's on the next shelf over here. But yeah,
Hmm.
I've got my 5060 Ti, 16 gig, as apparently all of them are, right? Well, no, there's an
which
8 gig card.
well, and real quick, which unit did you get sampled?
I got the PNY.
Oh, okay. Was that from NVIDIA?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, same. Yeah, I got that PNY one, the stealth mode or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Asus just sent me this one, the Prime, which I actually do like the Prime Shroud.
Yeah.
Uh,
I like the look of the Prime. Yeah. It's the real similar design to their 5070, which one do I have?
Except for actually, I was looking at this. I don't think I have because I think the other Prime that I got from Asus was a 5070 Ti. I can't remember
Mhm.
off the top of my head, but I was noticed how small the PCB is for both
Yes.
the PNY and this one.
Yeah.
So a lot of room for blowing through.
Yeah. But NVIDIA, obviously, they've been releasing a graphics card what feels like every week this year.
Ugh, too fast.
Yeah. This particular release with the 5060 Ti, this one feels weird because I received all the rest of my cards, the 5090, the 5080, the 5070 Ti, 5070. I received all those cards probably 3 weeks in advance of launch. I had plenty of time to...
Oh, 3 weeks. Look at you, fancy.
Right. Maybe closer to 2, but what felt like plenty of time to unbox the card, get it installed, actually run through all of my litany of tests, including all the back cards that I needed to do. Because I know in December you went through and like retested a lot of cards and in preparation, as a lot of us did as well.
Mhm.
shore up your platform, make sure your tests are good, and then bring on the new GPUs. Um, but I know for the 5090, I had it at least 2 weeks in advance. I think the 5080 I had 3 weeks in advance, and the 70 Ti and the 70 were very similar, at least 2 weeks in advance. I received my 5060 Ti last Thursday afternoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's
Um,
not a ton of time.
and I don't know if you saw Linus's video, LTT's video. They
Mm-mm.
also received their 5060 Ti on Thursday last week.
Mm.
Um, so I don't know if anyone pulled an all weekend benchmark fest. I happened to be at PDX Land this last weekend from Thursday on.
Nice.
And so wasn't about to stop my weekend plans to benchmark a card.
Yeah.
So that leaves Monday and Tuesday to install, benchmark, make sure there's no problems, validate. If you do have any issues, contact NVIDIA, hope someone's awake, respond to you, fix the issues, shoot the video, edit the video, review the video, publish the video. Like, less than 72 hours for that whole process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not only that, but it seems, and I've heard from multiple outlets, that NVIDIA only sampled 16 gig cards. And in fact, there's a quote on video cards, I believe from Hardware Unboxed, that NVIDIA told us 8 gigabyte cards would be coming later this week. And so they, for this initial launch, which the embargo for everything, for the 5060 Ti 16 gig, 8 gig, and the 5060, the embargo was this last Wednesday. So you could start talking about them and review them and everything else.
At least from what I understand from the briefing was that there actually was no embargo for the 5060.
Right.
So,
Right.
so it was just like, whenever you get one, test it. And when does it release? Sometime in May.
Eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah. But there's also accusations going out that AIBs have been told that they will not be supplying 8 gig cards in advance of the embargo. So we run into a situation, and NVIDIA's done this a couple of times before, and not to single NVIDIA out. AMD's done this plenty of times, and Intel's done this plenty of times as well. Give you 2 days to review a product or not ship a product that will be for sale to customers that there's no proper reviews out for. And we've run into this situation again where NVIDIA doesn't deliver cards until Thursday, and the embargo release is the next Wednesday morning, so 3.5 business days to do all of your review processes and make sure everything's good, and you don't even have all the answers or all the hardware to test. It feels... I don't know if sketchy is the right word, but it puts reviewers in a weird position because we don't have all the answers or all the information to make proper judgment calls.
yeah. Well, and on top of that, earlier releases had the review embargo the day before actual launch day, so at least people, even regardless of how much time the reviewers had to
Right.
review, at least whatever content was out there, the people who were interested in purchasing it had at least a day to digest the information, to hit. But I mean, I didn't wake up early to try to buy any on
Yeah.
Pacific time. But I believe like the review embargo was the same time as like actually like when they started to release. So
Yeah.
and these things always are going to sell out for no matter what, anything is going to sell out,
Yeah.
whether it's high demand or low availability.
Yeah.
But that gives nobody any time to sit there and be like, okay, well, I want to see independent reviews. I want to read things about it so that I can have time to digest and have some information. So there was none of that either. So it's kind of both ends.
Yeah.
Yes. And honestly, I've oh this is I should ask. Maybe I'll do a series of interviews at Computex or something
Mhm.
because I always feel like, I mean, it's always in the company's best interest, I would feel like, to have m- reviewers have more time with the products, right? Give more time to
Yeah.
kind of settle in, do whatever testing, get opinions, all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And I mean, in the perfect world, right? Like, I mean, we could have stuff for 3 weeks, a month. What if we were like, hey, you know what? We've been using this 5060 Ti for a month.
Right.
Just to, I mean, I know it doesn't always work out that way, but because there's always something to be testing. But yeah, it like I've always wondered why like things are always just so rushed.
Yeah.
And whether whatever the reason is, whether they are intentionally trying to give reviewers less time or market conditions, tariffs, all that kind of stuff is throwing stuff into disarray.
Yeah.
People can make up their own opinions, on whatever facts that they have in front of them. But either way, there's not as much information out there, and that's not good
Yeah.
because information's good. And then on top of that, yeah, when nobody has an 8 gig, I don't think I saw a single video that had 8 gigs.
No. No.
Um, which, yeah, and that's concerning. So the
Yeah.
5060 nebulous, like, it'll launch when it launches, and like that's another thing. But this one, we knew, hey, here's the embargo date. Here's
Hmm.
when things you can buy things, and there's literally no third party uh, benchmarks on that.
Yeah.
No, that is not good
Yeah.
for anybody.
And
Uh,
and
so
supposedly, let me pull up the specs for the two cards. There is a little bit of a difference between the 16 gig and the 8 gig as far as architecture. I believe it was. I don't want to talk completely out of my butt here, so I want the numbers in front of me. Do you remember the CUDA core count? Is the CUDA core count different between them,
I'm
or
I'm not
okay?
good at looking at the numbers. I
Yeah,
don't remember the CUDA core count being different. I thought everything was the same bus width,
yeah,
pretty much everything except for the capacity. Uh, and to be fair, NVIDIA did say in their briefing that they felt that most of the allocation
hmm,
was going to be 16 gig variants anyway.
okay,
I actually, at least on our Discord channel, was watching, and I haven't seen anybody say that they were able to pick up an 8 gig version. So I don't even know if there were 8 gig versions
yeah,
available. I mean, either way, that's not good. Uh, you
right,
you you want to have inventory and reviews of whatever inventory is out there if it's a supposed launch. So
yeah, okay. So yeah, you are correct. There is no CUDA core difference. 4608, 48 ROPS, same RT cores, same. Okay, so yeah, they are identical cards across the board. Same bus, which is nice. So there shouldn't be any performance differences between the two outside of memory allocation. Um, but that's also why we test things, is to make sure there's no performance difference between those outside of memory allocation. And um, while we should probably be driving most users towards higher end memory, higher than 8 gigabyte cards at this point in time, there are still, I think, a slew of gamers out there who 8 gigs is probably fine. If you're only at 1080p, 8 gigs is probably fine, even at ultra settings. Even at 1440p, 8 gigs is fine for 85% of the titles that are on the market today. And
or if
even
you're
if
just
it's
playing like Overwatch or something. Like I know
right,
people who just play World of Warcraft and that's all they play, and it's like, okay, well, you know what? Go with God.
right,
Do it. Do
exactly,
whatever works for you. Yeah.
right. But the fact that we don't have the cards in hand to test, and the card has been launched, and we have to make our opinion of the 5060 Ti globally without the second card in hand, it's a little frustrating.
Yeah, yeah. Dr. Ian Cuttress does make a good point. They don't delay to give you more time because everything is seat of the pants. Move quickly on to the next one. Yeah, and that's always the sense that I get.
Yeah.
Like, once again, there's a lot of opinions, a lot of people, who might have different information, something like that. But the sense that I got was more
Mhm.
like, Hey, you know what? Like, man, I wish we had more time. It's just how things are lining up. So, somebody
Yeah,
somewhere made the decision. This is what we're gonna do. This is we're gonna do it this time.
yeah,
And I'm sure Asus wished that their GPUs could be the ones that were also reviewed for launch day. Uh,
yeah.
at least they told me, at least like, hey, we've had a problem getting the cards into the country, and so that's why it's not here. I mean, I haven't tested this one. I literally just got it in yesterday,
Yeah.
but I mean, I doubt it's gonna be some sort of weird hidden thing. So
Right.
like, yeah, that I think that's the other thing is that yes, everything is just so fly by the seat of your pants that it's like it should be more consideration into baking in time for, things to bake. I don't know the word,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we always wish we had more time. But Ian also says, did you see the GN or Hardware Unbox poll that said, given the two memory configs, which do you get? And it was 93% said the cheapest regardless. Interesting.
I didn't see the poll, no,
Yeah.
but that doesn't surprise me. Like here's the thing. The
Well
thing
that
that
flies in the face of 16 versus 8 gig because the 8 gig is the
well,
cheaper.
but I mean, I would say, yeah. I mean, I feel like people have gone round and round on this thing so many times.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the end of the day, the thing is that imagine a world where the 5080 came out,
Mhm.
and it was just like, who knows, like $700, but the performance was actually a 4090.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, the 5080 just ends up being the best cost to performance ratio that you've ever seen on an Nvidia card.
Mhm.
This is so amazing. This is the one people should buy.
Yeah.
But what if in your pocket you only have $350?
Right.
Oh, that's so cool that 5080 is like the best value for your buck. That's
Yep.
so cool. But I don't got that money.
Right. Exactly.
Especially in today's economy. So it's just like I
And
actually think rather than like I think a lot of times reviewers are like, okay, well here I laid out all the testing, here are all the benchmarks,
mhm.
here's what we think is a good price to performance thing, and I think a lot of people are like, oh cool, that's great.
Cool. I
Don't have
happen
that
to
money.
have $400.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
what's the best that I can get with the budget I have?
Yeah.
And so, maybe I think that's what the other thing. So I think that's the other thing is like, hey, listen, graphics cards just generally, I mean, not just graphics cards, a lot of things in this world right now are more expensive
Yep.
than ever. And so it's just like, okay, well, I only have so much money that I can spend. I'll try to get the best with the amount of money I have
Mhm.
rather than the other way. Try to get the best, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the best value for whatever money.
I always love comparing PC card purchases or PC component purchases to other things that we may not look as critically at, like vehicle purchases. Because most people buy cars, most people, have some experience doing that. But reviewers for cars don't simply drag race every car and tell you which one was fastest 0 to 60 and in the quarter mile and say that's
Yeah.
the car to buy.
Yeah.
Nor do they go, well, the Rivian R1S is the best price to performance at $88,000. Because you know what people would do? Oh, that's great. How much was the Corolla again? Like, we don't buy anything else in this world the way that a lot of reviewers think that we buy graphics cards and processors. Like, sometimes it really is just dollars and cents and which one fits in my budget.
Well, and also like I get it's good to look at things historically.
Mhm.
I have 2 points here. One one is it's kind of both sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
One, it's good to look at things historically, where it's like, I think what happens is a lot of people, as they're looking at things, end up going back to the 10 series and being like, well, look how good we got there.
Yeah.
It's like, you're right. You are completely right. Things like that was a generation where you got great performance for like relatively little money.
Yeah.
That everyone felt pretty good about it. I mean, except for the 3 gig, 6 gig, 1060 or
Yeah, that
1070,
was
whatever
weird.
it was. Yeah, like other than that,
There was
Like
also a
so,
5 gig thrown in the middle there,
yeah,
late in
yeah,
the
whatever.
line. Yeah.
So, but I always hear people like be like, oh man, back in the day things were better, and it's like, okay, yeah, but oh, it should have been this because it used to be this and that, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, but also, is that practical buying advice? Like, if somebody, if I have a family member who's like, hey, I've got $400, what should I get?
Hmm.
Do you think I'm going to be like, well, I don't know, they're not as good a value as they used to be back in the 10 series? They're like, okay, well,
Okay, that was almost a decade ago.
yeah, yeah, but I mean, but also like, how does that help me?
Right.
Like, oh man, like they're not given as much VRAM as they should be. Okay, well, what should I buy?
Right. But I still want to play games.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
I like we're definitely more here at PC World. We're a little bit more on the give somebody just practical advice kind of stuff. It is
Yeah.
fun to argue and have all this kind of fun stuff,
Sure.
but at the end of the day, like when I'm sitting down with a family member or friend,
Hmm.
they don't actually want to hear about bus width or VRAM capacity or or like the fact that Nvidia had horrible marketing. They don't care,
Yeah.
they just want some practical advice, exactly like Ian says, what should I get?
Yep.
Like I get that all the time, so it's like,
Yep.
oh, okay, well, and usually what I do, and so I actually always have had a hard time giving any sort of buying advice, especially just generalized on a video,
Hmm.
speaking to wide masses, because it counteracts the way that I would do it with somebody one on one.
Right.
What happens when somebody says, "Oh, what should I get?" I'm like, "Okay, well, what's your budget? What kind of CPU are you pairing with? What kind of games do you play?" Like you have all this, like I get a chance to ask all this information,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh, okay, well then I can help make a decision or give you an opinion kind of thing. Whereas like I don't feel comfortable enough to like get on a video and be like, oh, okay, everyone should buy this one or they shouldn't buy this one,
Right.
because like everyone's situation is kind of different.
Right.
So yeah.
The way I try to give buying advice on my channel is, and the way I try to review everything is, I first try to find a scenario that I'm going to talk about, and sometimes the scenario is, let's say you have $800 and you need to build a full PC. Here's the parts that I would recommend for that budget, and so if someone clicks on the video and they go, I happen to have 850. Hey, this is fantastic advice for someone like me. And maybe I can splurge and get that 2 terabyte drive instead of a 1 terabyte, because now that fits in, So you try to just match where people might be, rather than trying to make blanket statements like 5060 Ti is a terrible value. Well, no, it's really not, because what other card is out there for $429 that you can buy brand new?
Well, but also like value means so many different things to so many different people.
Right.
Like who am I to tell you what your value is and what your situation is? And also like I think the other thing that's different too is that a lot of people are almost exclusively looking at it through the lens of gaming,
Yeah.
which makes sense because I mean a lot of people are gaming on these things. But all the PCs that I've always built over my life or my short PC building career
Mhm.
has always been usually like 50-50 video editing, photo editing, and gaming.
Yeah.
So like I'm always looking at it through the lens of like, okay, well, I'm doing at least some sort of work on this to
Mhm.
help, at least justify some of the cost. And then but then I also get to game on it as well. So
Right.
like I mean, sure, here in my job capacity, yes, I will build PCs that are just for gaming. But like, yeah, buying outside of that or building outside of that, I would 100% it would be like, okay, well, half of it's for work and half of it's for gaming kind of thing. So
Yeah.
like, that's the other part too, is that I just feel like I have a different math, a different calculation than
Totally.
everybody else.
Yeah.
So when I hear people give, suggestions, I'm like, okay, well, that also doesn't fit with me and what I would want because
Mhm.
I want to know how it is going to perform in video editing and stuff like that too.
Right.
So
Um, I will occasionally build PCs strictly for gaming. So I attend PDX LAN twice a year, and so when I build PCs for that, it is 100% gaming focused. There's
Yeah,
no
of course.
value
Yeah.
return or anything like that. It's I want frames to go burr, or I have specific goals in mind. I've also got a couple different places that I have PCs, or a couple different, so I've got my main office down here. I've also got a desk that I built in my living room, which is kind of a his and hers workstation. So I've got my wife and mine gaming PCs up there. And that PC for me is just a gaming PC. I don't do work on that PC. But I also have like criteria in mind for goals that I want to achieve, or environments that I want it to live in. And so that's a PC that I don't want it to dim the lights when it turns on. I have a fairly small power envelope that I want it to live in. It has to fit on a desk. It has to be near silent because it's in my living room. I don't want to sit there hearing it from across the room, even if someone's playing games on it. It's something that has to live within a space that other people have to live in. This always blows people's minds. Do you know what my most recent build up there was? Like, what hardware I might have used? As a PC enthusiast who has literally unlimited resources, gets shipped hardware, I have the full package at my disposal, the full catalog at my disposal.
I mean, it's obviously a Threadripper.
It's obviously a Threadripper, right? Yeah, no question. Yeah, 64 cores. Like, we're not gonna skimp.
Is it a laptop?
It's not a laptop.
Okay. Is it a laptop part in the desktop?
It was for a while.
Okay.
For a while, I had an Earring board up there, so I had an 11600H like laptop Tiger Lake part. But no, the most recent configuration until up to 2 months ago was a Ryzen Zen 2 3600, 6-core, 12-thread, 16 gigs of RAM, RTX 3050.
Oh, yeah. Low profile, or was it that?
It was full desktop, 8-pin.
Oh, okay.
So 130 watt. But RTX 3050, like a card that every reviewer, top to bottom, went, this is the most useless thing NVIDIA's put out in years. It's just absolute garbage. I'm like, it's a 130 watt card that does DLSS 2, second gen ray tracing. It only draws 130 watts. And you know what? Plays every game at Ultra at 1080p.
Yeah, right.
That's all I need.
Yeah. So,
but that's the PC that I've spent the bulk of the last 2 years gaming on.
I guess, I mean, on the other side of it, for me, the PC that I've spent the bulk of my gaming on has been handhelds.
Yep.
Like a Steam
me
Deck.
too. Yeah.
Oh man, 800p at 40 frames a second.
Yeah. Oh, how could you live with yourself?
Dude, nobody can game at 40 frames a second. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, actually, that's what I do
It's
all the
actually
time.
pretty great, too.
Yeah. It's at 720p, 800p, whatever.
Yeah.
The Steam Deck is. Yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah. Frames win games, though. So, I guess I'm not winning at all.
Yeah, but when I'm playing that, I'm usually also playing single player. So, and you realize Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom both won Game of the Year on the year that they were launched, and ran at 22 FPS on
like a 12-watt processor. Yeah.
Right. Running
12-watt TDP or whatever.
Friggin' Maxwell or Kepler architecture.
Yeah.
Right. Like.
Yeah. So.
Sometimes you don't need 140 FPS to have a really good gaming experience.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Yeah. So 5060 Ti. I mean, hey, here's the other thing that I like to tell people, and people don't like that. If you don't like it, don't buy it.
Right.
So like at the end of the day, I think there's a couple things you can do. A lot of people can get on the comments and get angry and yell, and maybe NVIDIA will change their ways if enough people yell.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or if people stop buying it, then NVIDIA will have to change their ways, because they'll be like, wait, crap, this isn't selling at this price. we need to adjust. That's it's you know, I know people don't like it, but you know,
Yeah.
it's called capitalism, baby. So,
Well,
you know, like
even furthering the capitalism talk, though, Nvidia, if they hear angry comments about how expensive their gaming graphics cards are right now, they're going to go, "Oh no, our 1/14th share of our enterprise revenue."
yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So, you know, yeah. Which hey, I mean, either way that sucks,
Yeah.
right? Because it's like it is pretty obvious. I would say a lot of this stuff is coming from the fact that yeah, Nvidia is making the bulk of their money
Hmm.
off of something that's not desktop gaming GPUs.
Right.
Uh, Good for them, I guess, because capitalism
I mean,
is
yeah.
winning. Get that money, you know. You know. So
I will
whatever.
never ever bash a company for trying to get paid, like ever,
I mean,
because
it's literally what companies are supposed to do.
it's what companies
So
exist to do. And so,
yeah, yeah,
however you can get your bag legally,
yeah.
it's fine.
Legally,
It's
yes.
totally fine with me.
But on the other end, but people are right. It doesn't feel good.
Right.
It doesn't feel good to think like, oh man, back in the 10 series, things were different.
Hmm.
You're right.
A lot of things were different back in the 10 series.
Yeah, so it's
Um,
like you know,
what was
I
your
don't
house
know.
worth when the 10 series launched? Like
Yeah, right.
let's break this down capitalistically.
Yeah, actually, so funny side story, but my wife has a teacher friend.
Uh-huh.
My wife's a teacher. Her she's moving out of the country, and she's selling her place. So, and she lives in Berkeley. She's like one of those old Berkeley hippies.
Okay, yeah.
She
Yeah.
bought her house somewhere in like the late 70s, early 80s for
Hmm.
like maybe like $80,000 and
Yeah.
is now selling her house for like 5 million.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I would have done that.
Right.
That
Yeah.
sucks. But
Yeah.
also good for her. You know,
My problem is,
I
why wasn't I alive in 1981 to buy a house at that time? Like,
yeah, right. You know, so I don't know. Say things change. You know, that's yeah. It might suck, and there is plenty to you know get bent out of shape about. But also at the same time, like I feel like our job, or at least, hey, you know, what we do at PC World and what we always do is just try to give practical and buying advice to
exactly.
people.
Yep.
So, you know, and do stupid stuff with, you know, on video. That's, you know, they pay me literally to do that.
Well,
So,
that goes without saying. I mean,
yeah. But as long as I do both.
right, right.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. I think the other thing too with the 5060 is that we know that this traditionally the 60 class cards are the ones that are, you know, dominate the Steam hardware survey.
Totally.
Um, so I would say, I mean, you know, we don't know when those are going to launch. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's going to launch during Computex and nobody's, you know, everyone is going to be at Computex. So there's literally going to be no reviews because nobody's going to be there to review them.
I mean, if you're Nvidia, isn't that the move though? Just launch a card that no one has time to review. I mean,
Well, I mean, honestly, though,
that you
Nvidia
know
can do
will
whatever
fly
the
off the
hell that
shelf
they want.
regardless.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, they could do whatever the hell they want, right?
Yeah.
Is that good for the consumer? No, I think that is good for the consumer to have independent reviews, you
Hmm.
know, up ahead of time, plenty of testing, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to do whatever their job is to get money. Their company,
Right.
their the marketing job is to do marketing. Our job as reviewers is to review stuff. And so yeah, like we always say, wait for independent reviews. You
Yep.
know, I mean, so like that 5060 thing, I that's the one I'm curious about, because each 50 series class in this generation so far, well, even the AMD stuff has been, each GPU has been a weird situation. Like the
Yeah.
5070, there were certain things where it just generationally like zero performance uplift.
Yeah.
You know, AMD is not aiming for the top line. So there were things where the previous generation 7900 XTX was faster than the
Hmm.
9070 XT.
Yep.
So we are in kind of a weird place in that. The 60 Ti, I mean, I at least saw some improve, you know, like what 10 to 20% improvement over the 4060 Ti.
Yeah.
I am curious to see where the 5060 lands.
Yeah.
where, because yeah, every single GPU has been kind of different. Even though, but I mean, at the end of the day, guess what? This is just a refresh. This is the
Yep.
Raptor Lake refresh moment.
Right.
Is
Yeah.
is the way I've been kind of
I
saying
think
it.
it's better than
So
Raptor Lake Refresh. Like, let's. Raptor Lake Refresh was 3% at the top end.
yeah, well,
But yeah, no, this isn't the leap that a lot of people have come to expect over the last couple of generations. But let's also be real. The leap from Maxwell to Pascal was absolutely insane. Turing was then kind of a refresh, and even kind of a late refresh, and not even the generation that we were supposed to get as consumers. That should have been Volta, and then Volta was kind of shelved at the last second, and we got Turing instead. But then Ampere was a massive leap forward over Turing, and then Ada was a massive leap forward over Ampere. And so we've been kind of blessed with this exponential growth over the last 2, 3, 4 generations. And it's okay to have one kind of stair step. Like, it's all right. Like, the world's not going to end because we didn't hit 200 FPS and instead we hit another 170 FPS card. Like,
yeah. And one of the things I've been thinking about just on the back end is like traditionally our GPU test suite. So if people don't know, Brad Charkis, who runs the day-to-day operations at PC World, he has always been the one who would benchmark and review GPUs.
mhm.
Excuse me. Now that he has been busy, running PC World,
Right.
I have taken over the actual benchmarking duties of GPUs.
Uh-huh.
But I am no GPU expert, so he continues to be the one to take those benchmarks and write a review up
Mhm.
on the website. So I've learned a lot about benchmarking from Gordon,
Mhm.
RIP Gordon,
Yeah.
but that was also in the context of CPUs. So I was telling somebody this in my comments earlier, actually. They were like, "Man, why is Adam so wishy-washy? He doesn't really have like strong opinions about stuff." And I'm like, "Well, part of it is because I am so early on in my journey of benchmarking GPUs
Yeah.
and like understanding how GPUs work. I don't feel comfortable, giving hardcore stuff,
Totally.
hardcore advice. So I'm just kind of in that learning process as well. But the other thing too is that like our benchmark suite. So traditionally, our benchmark suite, getting back to my point, is that we usually just essentially look at the previous generation,
Mhm.
to see gen over gen relative
Mhm.
increased performance. That's why we do use some older games
Yep.
to look at relative performance, and then compare it to the around the price, somewhere theoretically around the price of a comparable AMD, and then offer maybe some other options just so people can kind of see context around that.
Yeah.
But people don't really upgrade from gen to gen,
No.
right? Like, I mean, maybe on the top end, maybe if you got the money and you were like, this 4090, it's so old, I can get a 5090. Okay, cool, that's great.
Even the whales who have 5090 money, they skipped the 4090 over the 3090. Like it not even the whales don't upgrade generation over generation
Yeah.
outside of the 1% of the 1% who are crazy enough to do that. Like,
Yeah. So
um
I really want to throw in like an older gen GPU, like a 10 series, right? Because I'm
yeah.
like, oh, okay, well maybe the 5060 Ti, okay, that's great. It's 10 to 20% faster than the 4060 Ti,
Mhm.
but you probably weren't on a 4060 Ti. You're probably on something older than that.
You're probably on a
If you're trying to upgrade,
3060, maybe a 2070 Super, you know.
1660,
Yeah, yeah.
or even a 580, RX 580, right?
Totally.
I know a lot of people were on it. I mean, that was a great
Mhm.
card for the time.
Yep.
So yeah, like I am curious. Okay, I wish I had time to add in more GPUs.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I would love to have two separate test beds. We have one test bed that is every other piece of hardware on that test bed is the best of the best to try to
Mhm.
eliminate bottlenecks. But if I had a second test bed that was a 3600X, because I know a lot of people got a 3600X, I would also love to run the same GPUs through that test bed as well. But we
If
don't
only
have
there
time.
was someone who said that that's a really good way to test. Like,
I know,
we
right?
we
Weird.
exist
Yeah.
within a world of bottlenecks, and not
Yeah,
everything's a
yeah,
perfect scenario, right?
yeah. Yeah. I mean, so whatever. Then the problem is manpower and time and
Totally.
effort, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So
actually, it's funny you bring that up because for my 5060 Ti review, I'm not going to do a traditional no No holds barred, no bottlenecks review.
Oh
Um,
man.
I'm going to take that card and I'm going to use it as an example of what if there are bottlenecks, and does that matter? So I am going to throw it on my 9800X3D, which is where I benchmarked all the rest of my 5000 series cards. But is it nearby? Oh, it's behind me. I have a PC build coming out this weekend that is one of my classic PC builds, AliExpress. What can I get for as little money as possible? Surprise, surprise.
That's a good thing to do right now, too.
Surprise, surprise, it's another X99 rig, but the motherboard, CPU, and 16 gigs of memory was $65.
Wow.
Right? Okay. So,
I want to know what you can do with that.
Fully inclusive with the RTX 3050. I put an RTX 3050 in there. I put a terabyte of storage in there. I got a case. I got a power supply. I got a cooler. I got fans. It's all RGB'd up. Like I didn't spare any expense when it comes to the looks either. $433 gaming PC.
Wow.
And
dang.
so I'm gonna show that off in a build video, going like, hey, look, you can put together a PC today that actually does really well. You can use modern DLSS features to kind of up your game a little bit further, and it should be fun. It should be a really good PC to play games on. I'm gonna take that same PC and I'm gonna benchmark the 5060 Ti on it.
Oh, nice. I like that. Well, Jamie in the chat asks, is that the one you showed on Discord?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I need to do. Where did you share that?
I shared it on main maybe a couple hours ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 11:30. Yeah.
I'll find it. Yeah. No, I like that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm a little. I don't mean this in a bad way, but I'm a little hamstrung by the fact that usually, we need the traditional benchmark kind of stuff for PC World.
Totally.
Because I'm one part of a larger team kind of thing. If I was running my own YouTube channel, I would definitely do things a lot different. But
yeah.
But once again, not in a bad way. I'm a team player. We're
totally.
It's PC World. We have a legacy.
And those benchmarks are still very valuable. Knowing where a card sits in the hierarchy of both new and used equipment, knowing where your value is at, like that is totally relevant information. And as I said in that original video, I don't dissuade anyone from doing benchmark testing that way, but that's not the only answer. That's not the only way to test things. And There is more information in there if you're willing to dig through a little bit.
Oh man, that is a nice case.
Isn't that?
I like that. It's like the whole side is glass.
The whole side is glass, and it's glass. It's not. That case was $41, and that is tempered glass.
Wow, an EVGA power supply. EVGA.
Yeah.
Nice then. That doesn't look bad at all, dude.
What's really fun about this build too is I purposely did this build. Let me throw this up on screen so people can see it here. Since we're talking about it now, this build right here, I put this build together to kind of show also that you can do everything wrong and you can still get a good gaming PC, because the right and wrong of PC building is a sliding scale depending on what your performance expectations are and what your power budget is and things like that. And so I would love, I'm not going to name any names, but I would love a couple specific people to tear this thing apart and just read me the riot act over everything that I did wrong. Because I have a 9-year-old CPU. This is a 2680 V4 14-core Xeon CPU on an AliExpress motherboard with dual 8 gig sticks of RAM. By the way, X99 is a quad-channel platform. I'm only using 2 sticks. I've got an underpowered power supply, 430 watt for a gaming PC. That's not enough, right? My power supply is drawing in hot air from inside the chassis. It's not an external exhaust. I'm using an RTX 3050, one of the most hated graphics cards of all time. There's no front intake. There's everything about this PC is wrong.
I love it.
And every single person who complains about it is going to be wrong in their complaints. Guess how hot the CPU gets
Oh,
under full
God.
Cinebench load, AVX workload.
God. 75C.
46.
What? That's cold. Are you sure it's on?
I'm positive it's on. Yeah,
Oh, that's pretty good.
this CPU, 14 core, hit 46C in my testing.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah,
Yep.
doing this kind of
You,
stuff is kind of fun.
oh man. Yeah, well, I mean, look, this is the kind of stuff Gordon liked to do too.
Yeah.
He had his world record holder of the slowest
The
Cinebench
slowest
R15
Cinebench,
score,
yes.
and he did it using parts that were notoriously hated by
Mm-hmm.
one Steve Burke from Gamers Nexus.
Uh-huh.
An NZXT H1 riser card that was catching on fire,
Yeah, yeah.
the gigabyte power supply that was lighting up, all that kind of stuff. So
That's
yeah,
amazing. Yeah,
you're keeping the spirit of Gordon alive. I like
absolutely.
it.
Well, as I said, I mean, reading some of his articles, that's a big reason of why not only I went into tech professionally, but also why I decided to start a YouTube channel and start doing this kind of thing. So,
Oh yeah. Well, we got a question. Can it play Crisis?
can it play Crysis? Oh,
You got to try.
it can play Crysis remastered. Are you kidding?
You got to try. Yeah.
So-
I like it.
Yeah. The fun part of PC building is it really is like Legos, which means there's also a million possibilities to put things together in different ways that were never thought of before. There's always a different combination of things that you can use.
And user error. Like
And
I
user
had
error.
I had a family member who was like, "Hey, I'm having a problem,"
Uh-huh.
and they weren't local, so I had to remote do a little remote session.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, hey, turn your camera around and let me see the PC." And sure enough, at some point they had unplugged their HDMI cable from the dedicated GPU and had plugged it into the motherboard.
Yeah.
Well, that was an AM4 platform
Uh-huh.
that had no IGP. So, it's weird. I turned it on. I see everything working, but I'm not getting any signal on my TV.
Yeah.
Well, you
Well,
plugged
there
in
you
the
go.
wrong port.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's fun.
yeah. So this is going to be a fun couple of videos because it's. I will say, I caught a lot of backlash for my "you're reviewing graphics cards wrong" video, but I've
Yeah,
also
I mean,
noticed.
you were just you were just doing clickbait.
But
We all
I've
know.
also noticed, us smaller channels always trying to rile things up.
Yeah.
I've also noticed over the last 2 years, some of the larger channels are starting to take that advice to heart. Some of them are starting to benchmark with lower end CPUs and pairing like for like. Because that's all I was
Weird.
trying to do.
Weird.
Not saying, I'm just saying.
We should all thank Jeff.
Right.
Everybody thank Jeff in the chat right now. Thank you, Jeff. I'll be the first one.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jeff. There you go.
Thank you.
I like it.
Yeah. So I'm not perfect, but I'm not trying to answer just the generic question. I'm not trying to rubber stamp an answer. I genuinely care about people with all kinds of budgets and all kinds of scenarios and all kinds of workflows and professional or gaming or anything in between. And there's more than one right answer.
It's true. It's
So.
true.
Anyway, let's see. We do have some other news to get to. Discord is in the news because apparently they are beta testing a feature in the UK and Australia to verify people's ages. But they're doing so in probably the most invasive way possible. That is scanning your ID and also face scanning you to match.
Yeah, you had sent this this link. I actually hadn't read about this.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't really keep up with what it's the UK and
UK
or
and
is it all of
Australia.
Europe? Australia, yeah. Nick from Gear Seekers. I try to stay away from that guy. But yeah, I actually didn't know that there was so much legislation around verifying people's ages.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's, I mean, like I get it. They're probably coming from the place of like, okay, well, we need to verify people's age so that younger people don't, access bad stuff on the internet.
Yeah,
I get
totally.
it. Yeah, yeah, whatever. Um, but yeah, this does feel weird to be like, yeah, yeah. Why don't you just send us, just take a photo, take a photo with your webcam.
Yeah,
Just
that
just send it over to us. We won't store it. We
right.
won't store it.
Totally. Yeah, it's fine.
That has never happened,
Yeah.
like where a company says they don't store something locally, and whoops, they
Never in
actually
the
stored it
history of
locally.
ever have you scanning your ID and sending it to someone resulted in data leak. Like it's never happened
Yeah,
ever.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Actually, I was part of the group that got doxxed on for E3. Do you remember when E3 stored all of the journalists' uh, information to sign up on an Excel sheet
Yep.
in the cloud or something like that?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, luckily I put the address as the office,
Yeah.
the PC World office, so not
Yep.
a big deal. But yeah, just
No,
like,
everything
man,
I
people
do
are
public
dumb.
facing, any shipments that I receive from any companies, they all go through my public facing PO box, my virtual office, because I I don't want weird people knocking on my door at 7 in the morning going, I have a PC problem. Um,
I like people knocking on my door. Come on over.
yeah, yeah. I mean, bring beer. Yeah,
Yeah,
come
yeah,
on
bring
in.
beer. If you bring beer, it's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Um,
I'm kidding.
don't show up at my
Uh,
house.
yeah. So
You will
I
not
don't know.
get a friendly response
Yeah,
from me.
Ian's in the chat. He said he has not gotten this,
Yeah.
although my disc it's for 13-year-olds. Uh, which I would say actually kind of makes it worse to a certain degree. Like I'm definitely of the mind of like, hey, I don't like if I don't have a child, to be fair, just to be open.
Yeah.
But if I did, I probably wouldn't be plastering them over the internet, and I wouldn't want them to
Nope.
do that either.
Nope.
So yeah, I know you're probably in the same boat.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I have.
like having Discord have access to pictures of my young child, I wouldn't want that
You
either.
know. Yeah. I have 3 kids. And I've had them in a couple of different videos. The way that I have them in the videos is very heavily curated. It's very heavily controlled. Um, all my videos are scripted, which makes it kind of easy because I can tell them, "Hey, I'm going to ask you a question, and this is how you answer," and so we can have like a little bit of like genuine dialogue, but at the same time, it's very heavily controlled. And I'm the one who edits it in the end, so it's not like they're going to say something weird. And oops, now that's out in the
Wait,
open.
wait. So you're the man?
Yeah,
So is that what you're saying? You're the
yeah,
man?
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man,
I got my
when I was a
thumb.
teenager,
Right.
yeah, when I was
Yeah.
a teenager, I was fighting against the man.
Right. Totally.
God, you're the
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. I am the man. Um. But
Sorry.
uh, my oldest has said, I want to start a YouTube channel eventually, and I went, no, you don't. No, you don't. You are going to be a woman on the internet. No, you do not. And she's she hasn't been fully exposed to the evils of the internet, but like she's starting to ask questions, and she has classmates with horrible dirty minds and things like that, and so she's come home crying before, and people are terrible. I don't know if you knew this, but people in general suck.
Yeah. Weird.
And people on the internet are even worse because they have a mask that they can wear. And so they can say the most heinous of crap. And I have a number of creator friends who happen to be women, and the comments that they receive on a daily basis for simply existing is
Mhm.
despicable, disgusting, horrible. I have so much privilege being a white male on the internet that I can simply exist and do things and make mistakes and voice an opinion and things like that. And people go, "Oh yeah, no, he's probably right."
No, nobody says you're right.
Right. Well, screw those people too.
Uh, well, and real quick clarification, Ian says this is for 13-year-olds that can't have social media. It's the law. At 14, it's okay. So Discord needs a photo to tell if you're either 13 or 14.
Okay.
It sounds
Gotcha.
like so. Which, once again, and I guess they're using some sort of back service like AI recognition thing to
Yeah,
tell
because
your
that's
age.
never made a mistake ever.
So wait, so you're saying, wait, so you have the file, but you're not keeping it afterward, but then this other company also needs to get access to the file.
Right.
I don't think they said
But
they're keeping it afterward or
but
not,
they
but
also need to use machine learning to verify or to train the algorithm on who is young and who is not.
yeah, yeah. So are you giving consent to
Right.
allowing your face to be into that big cesspool of faces in the
Yeah.
AI pool?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
don't like don't like any bit of this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, but here's the other thing. What what could they do? Because if the law, I mean, but hey, at the end of the day, the law is a good thing to try to protect younger people on the internet.
I think so.
I do wonder
I think the
what they,
law comes from a good place.
yeah,
I
yeah,
fully
law
agree
comes
with
from a
that.
good place.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think it should be on the families to probably enact that.
Also
But,
fully agree.
yeah, but hey, there's social safety nets,
Yeah.
so I think that's what they're trying to do here. Then I guess what could they do, Mr. Technology?
I used to work with a number of organizations. I did a lot of MSP work. I was an IT director, IT manager for 13 years. A lot of my clients were government and education based. We had to deal with a lot of privacy issues. We had to deal with a lot of youth issues relating around cell phones and technology and accessibility and social media and all the things that happened there. I remember a couple of different conversations. One of which was, and both of these kind of have the same point, of a teacher had called into our help desk and said, "Hey, I have a kid who is constantly on YouTube, and they won't get off YouTube, and I need to block YouTube in this for this class." And I went, "Okay."
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem. I block YouTube. If they are tenacious enough, they'll get around the block because it's just a block. It's just me taking a guess at what site they're going to go to, and it's a game of whack-a-mole because if I block YouTube, they're going to go to Facebook. If I block Facebook, they're going to go to Vine. If I block Vine, they're going to go to Twitter. If I block Twitter, they're going to go to this. Blocking access to one thing that they're on now only guides them to something else. What you do have the power to do, though, is you are the physical teacher standing in the room with them. I don't have that power. I can't go, "Hey," virtual smack to the back of the head, "get back on task." Virtual smack, not a physical one. Technology is rarely the solution that we think it is. And there was another instance as well, and this is an ongoing issue with schools, is, I don't know if you've heard of Yonder pouches. Yonder is a brand of it's a product that is a pouch that you place a cell phone into and it locks. And so students are supposed to put their cell phones into a Yonder pouch during the school day. They can still have their phones on them, but a teacher has to use a magnetic key to unlock the pouch so the students can take their phones out at the end of the day. The students have the pouches. If they lose the pouch, they have to pay the school back for the pouch. If you forget on a Friday afternoon to have the teacher unlock your phone is now locked through the weekend because you have no way to access your phone unless you break the pouch. And if you break the pouch, you have to pay for the pouch. Versus And by the way, these are like $40 a piece that the school paid for to hand out to middle schoolers.
Oh.
Versus, hey, put your goddamn phone away. Like,
Yeah. That is interesting.
it's that
I've not
easy.
heard of that.
And I know kids are kids, and there's also a dozen ways that I know of to open that pouch.
Yeah, no, probably.
But the schools that I worked with wanted to implement them, and I said, this is the dumbest idea ever. This is never going to work, and it never did. And that school, they tried like an initiative of like 100 kids, and they went, yeah, this is stupid, and they gave it up. My daughter's school right now, bottom for the entire student body, and they all have Yonder pouches. My daughter's phone, by the way, is slightly too large to fit in the Yonder pouch, so it doesn't even close properly anyway. So it's a $40 canvas bag with a magnetic clasp on it that I have a dozen different ways of opening that can't fully close, that if she loses, I owe the school $40 for. When all that's required is the utmost strictness for the first week of school. You will not have your phone out on campus. And if you do, you seize the phone and you suspend the kid for a couple of days, and you will not have your phone out on campus. Like, they're making a technology problem when it's simply a wetware problem. And
yeah.
There's far better solutions than spending $500,000 on pouches that kids are just going to lose.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't grow up in this decade.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
Yeah.
For a variety of
weird
reasons,
stuff going on here.
But yeah. So bringing it back down to, I like the idea of protecting kids from social media, because people online are horrible, and there should be a level of protection, a barrier, a gap, a social construct that kids under a certain age don't get on social media. And I think even 13 is too young for social media, because I don't know if you know, but the gap between 13 and 18 is quite large with kids. And the majority of a child's protection online is going to come down to their parents, their teaching, their standards at home, and all that kind of thing. Yeah. And try as we might as a society, there's not a lot that we can do to prevent that. Because if a kid wants a Twitter account or whatever, Facebook account or whatever else, a parent's just going to make that account for them if they're not allowed to, if that parent is that kind of parent.
True.
And there's nothing really the government can do about it.
Yeah. Well, and putting it on the parents, so Rourke Ponce, is that how I'm going to pronounce it? Says the only thing I can think of is the parent has to make an account that gets verified and then authorize the kid's account. Then the parent is responsible for anything the kid does with the account. I actually do like that, because it's like, yeah, it puts the onus on the parents either way. Yeah. Either the parents can try to teach best practices for being on the internet or not being on the internet. Yeah. Why maybe they might not want to be on the internet. No. Or be the one that ultimately is like, okay, well, I will get you on the internet, but at the end of the day, it's also my responsibility. So yeah.
You're also taking this from the lens of a good parent.
Well.
And the problem with this world is it's also full of bad parents.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yes. I know. I know you know.
Oh, I know.
So, yeah, like, I don't know if you can legislate away
bad parents.
Bad parents, right.
You know what? Sorry, I'm going to bring up Gordon again, but he always had an idea. He said, what if you took everybody who ever posted on Reddit and everybody who ever posted on YouTube comments, put them on a big spaceship, and flew them straight towards the sun? And I was like, well, that would include us as well. And he's like, you know what? Sometimes, you got to make sacrifices.
That's right, for the greater good.
Yeah, for the greater good. And I'm like, okay, yeah.
That's funny because, like, obviously I've commented on YouTube. I've got 360 some odd thousand subscribers on YouTube.
Showing off here. Showing
Yeah,
off.
right.
Jeez, wow.
Yeah,
You got
look at
something on
me.
your shoulder.
Yeah. Do you know why I knew I would probably be successful at YouTube? It's because I could be funny in a vacuum on Reddit, and my Reddit account at this point I think is 13 years old.
Mhm.
I haven't posted to that Reddit account since I started my YouTube channel 8 years ago. I have 200,000 comment karma on my Reddit account.
I actually don't use Reddit, so I don't know if that's is that a good thing?
Every upvote that you get on a comment, on a joke, on a funny thing, you get an upvote and you get karma.
Is it like a 1-to-1 karma thing? Like one upvote
Not
gets
entirely.
one
In fact, it's
okay.
kind of weighted. So some subreddits you have to get more than one vote to get one karma, or at least that's the way it used to be. And so in 2017, I had a Reddit account that had 200,000 plus karma, plus, and none of it was posting. All of it was shit talking in the comments. But I knew I was funny enough to be funny to internet strangers. And
isn't that what Reddit's for though?
That's
like,
really what it's for.
Yeah, because my wife Lindsay uses Reddit all the time, and yeah, her favorite thing is to just go in the comments.
Yeah,
but she's a lurker, which means she doesn't comment. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm kind of being serious. I kind of knew I would be successful as an online personality because I already was in like this little semi-anonymous like corner of the internet.
That's funny.
Where a lot of random people found me funny. So,
well, I thought it was because you were just so good looking. So
well, that's 2A.
There you go. Yeah. It's tied. It's tied
Right.
for first.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Discord. To tell you the truth, though, I don't know the politics behind all this stuff, but facial recognition. Hey, I've seen the seminal '90s classic Minority. That was '90s. Was that came out in '90s? Minority Report with Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
I think it was '90s, right? I don't know.
2002.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Yeah, post 9/11. Dang
Yeah.
it, I got it wrong.
Yeah.
I've seen that, where he's walking around the street and the billboards scan his eyeballs and they know it's him. Like, I mean, we're almost there, right?
And so we cut his eyeballs out and put someone else's eyeballs in there, and he goes, "Hello,
Yeah.
Mr. Chang," or whatever it was.
Yeah, which is kind of funny. Yeah, maybe he got those eyeballs off AliExpress.
Totally could have. That seems more like an Alibaba purchase.
Okay. Nice.
We do have some gaming news.
Video games.
Video
People
games.
play those?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the whole reason we do what we do, isn't it?
I wouldn't say the whole reason.
It's a big reason.
Not for PC World, I would say, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Gaming is not our forte. Yeah.
Okay.
I leave it to the professionals.
Yeah. Well, I mean, gaming is probably 40% of my content. So it's not even...
Nerd.
Yeah. I mean... 40% gaming, 40% servers, 40% whatever the hell I feel like doing.
40% beer.
40% beer. Yeah.
40% beards.
Yep. Well, now we're at 200%. So look how much
I
get.
I don't do math. Come on. I don't do math.
That's a lot of 40s.
Yeah. Oh, 40s. You want to? Man, we should drink some 40s.
I do not feel like some old English today. Anyway, we do have some gaming news to get to. The rumor persists, and so do I. Half-Life 3 exists.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Concept artist for Valve, in a interview with Russian media, of all people, says, "I don't know how much that I can say. I don't know if I can say this or not, but I was in the room where they make Half-Life 3. However, I didn't see the actual development itself. I just saw the office, the computers, the whiteboards, and as I understood it, making Half-Life 3 isn't their first attempt. Therefore, the fact that they are doing it now is not a guarantee that they will actually make it or release it." So, the rumors popped back up recently that Half-Life 3 was alive and well, And it was all kind of based on this one quote, who
Yeah.
even he said, I didn't see it running. I saw some notes on a whiteboard, which I've also seen a dozen other times, which has always ended in failure.
Also, it said, I saw the room that they make it.
Yeah.
So does that mean, like at the Valve office, there's like a room, like
There's just a Half-Life room.
you're like, oh no, no, you're not allowed in that room. Oh, but it's cracked. I can kind of see in. Oh, that's the room that they make Half-Life 3 in.
Ooh. Yeah.
So I don't. I guess I just always assumed somebody somewhere was always just toying with it, whether trying something new or trying an experiment.
Yeah.
I bet because the what the running theory is that usually Half-Life comes out to push whatever major technology advancement that they have, right?
Yes.
I bet there was some sort of Half-Life 3 around the Steam Deck when they were trying to be like, hey, what kind of gameplay can we get on such a low-powered device like this?
That is a fantastic concept, because I mean
The
that's why Half-Life Alyx came to be, is they wanted to show off the pinnacle of VR technology. That's why Half-Life 2 came out, is they wanted to show the pinnacle of physics technology. That's why Half-Life came out, is they wanted to show dynamic lighting and real 3D renderers instead of using sprites, and eye animation and voice acting in games that made sense. It's always been more of a tech demo, less of a game. It just happened to be a really good game in the process.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's probably some validity to whatever hardware that Valve may or may not be kicking around right now, which they've been constantly developing for 20 years. Maybe, I mean, for the original, the Vive, the original Steam VR, we got the Lab, which, was a tech demo. It was a series of small interactions that showed off the potential of VR, and
Highly polished tech demo.
yeah. When I don't know if you know this about me, I used to run a VR arcade.
Nerd.
Yeah, and I've been called much worse. Trust me.
Sorry, I always throw that as an insult, as a joke, because yeah, we're all nerds.
I know what I am. But no, one of the things that I did to kind of help bankroll the channel and starting craft computing as a business was a friend of mine owned a bar, and I rented the space above his bar, and we invited patrons of his bar upstairs to try VR for the first time. And so I had a full green screen setup and a 15 by 15 foot area, so you could walk around with the cable tethered on the ceiling that would walk around with you and whatnot. And we would charge you like $20 for 15 minutes or something like that, and so you get 4 of those an hour. You're making $80 an hour. So it was pretty fun. But one of the number one played games was always the Lab. Was it the best game? No. Was it the best 15-minute experience you can give someone to present what the idea of VR is? Absolutely.
Oh yeah, easy.
And I had repeat customers who would come once or twice a week, who would come in and they'd want to up their score on the archery game. And so we'd get them in, we'd get them loaded, and they'd play archery for 15 minutes. And give me another 15 minutes, let's go. And
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't personally see this as news because I just always assume they're always working on some sort of iteration of Half-Life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I imagine the main story is probably written. It's just how they want to present it with whatever technology they're coming out with. And whatever game we get in the end will be showing the next level of whatever immersive tech Valve thinks is relevant right now.
yeah, yeah. I actually at this point I don't think anything will ever come out with Half-Life 3. I think it'll be, either called something different or a prequel or a side story, kind of like Alyx, where
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, because 3 is such a weird, like now it's like too built up. I think it's like
Yeah.
they could do other things of Half-Life,
Yeah.
and they don't necessarily need to call it 3.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean they've built up the universe at this point, and so yeah, you're right. They can just tell a story within the universe, and I think that's a much more compelling narrative than finishing, Gordon's journey.
Which, I mean, to be honest, I mean, yes, the story was interesting, but it wasn't that interesting. I'm not
Right.
like, I've never, even after I beat Half-Life 2 and all the episodes, it's not
Uh-huh.
like I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I need to
What's
know, I need
next?
to know what's gonna,
Yeah.
okay, they had a cliffhanger, at the end of episode 2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not clamoring for the story, more of that story. I'm clamoring for more of the gameplay,
Yeah.
more of the world,
Totally.
right? And you can do that in other ways than just sticking a big three on it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do a story about the battle between Aperture and Black Mesa research, because they exist in the same universe,
right?
and so ooh, a multiplayer game, a
Maybe an
multiplayer
extraction
shooter.
shooter. Yeah,
Yeah,
you go into Black Mesa and you got to extract out the information
yeah, where
as an
one team
aperture.
is Aperture and one team is Black Mesa, and you have to
There you
use
go.
the assorted technologies of
Look at that.
each
Boom.
company.
Yeah.
And so some people get gravity guns and saw throwers, and other people get portal guns and gels.
It sounds like we need to work for Valve.
Right?
Like, yeah, we got an idea. They're like, oh, great, ideas are a dime a dozen. We
Yeah,
got so many
exactly.
ideas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
execution is what people pay for.
yeah, exactly.
Speaking of execution, we do have some more Valve related news, but this one's actually kind of interesting to me, and probably interesting to you as the handheld enthusiasts that we are. Is a Valve Steam Deck prototype found its way to eBay
Man,
and actually sold and was delivered. $2,000 is all this sold for, and that feels criminal.
I know. I was like, man, if I had that opportunity to hit $2,000, oh
Yep.
boy, I would have done it.
Yep. Uh,
Oh,
so this is an early, or probably like a mid-cycle Steam Deck prototype, where you can see a lot of the design elements of the final Steam Deck. That is the touchpads and the Steam buttons, the menu buttons down here, the dual joysticks, the overall control layout, is all kind of there. I mean, the bones of this whole thing are there. They've also got the R3, R4 buttons on the rear of the console. The triggers look pretty near final. Obviously, there's a number of differences between this and the retail Steam Deck that we got. The shape of the trackpads is completely different. We got square trackpads on the Steam Deck Final versus the round ones, which are more reminiscent of the Steam controller. Um, these also don't have the grid lines of the Steam controller. They're not notched
hmm,
or sectioned.
hmm.
It's 100% smooth like the trackpads on the Steam Deck ended up being. Um, the joysticks look a little bit smaller to my eye, but the start and select buttons are bigger. Um, but overall, it you can see how important ergonomics were from a very early standpoint with Valve, and that's more so than them coming out with a competent handheld. I credit Valve with creating an ergonomic footprint for what a handheld should be, because you have to be able to hold the device, you have to be able to hold it comfortably, and you have to be able to reach everything comfortably. And that's one thing that Valve nailed on the first iteration of the Steam Deck that some other companies 4, 5, 6 years later are still having a hard time with where do I put
Hmm.
controls in relation to someone's thumbs. um have you seen the Ioneo Kun?
I have one.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, I have one.
That is the most unwieldy device I have ever placed in my hands, ever.
Yeah, it's got other problems as well.
It's got a lot of other
Yeah,
problems.
yeah, yeah. They all have their interesting design quirks. I actually would disagree. I don't think they nailed it with the first generation either. I think there is room for improvement, but also I'm not somebody who uses the trackpads either. So I actually feel
Yeah.
like you have to like if the I would like a Steam Deck that didn't have the trackpads.
I agree
honestly,
with that.
and
Yeah.
so that you move the thumbsticks and the face buttons like
Hmm.
a little bit easier to get your thumbs. But I would agree that it is probably the either tied for the first or within the top two
Yeah.
of like
What's
best ergonomics for me personally.
what's your favorite ergonomic device?
RGLAX.
Okay.
Yeah, like something about that in my hands just
Yeah.
feels right. Like
Mine is the One X Player One X Fly. That is my favorite device.
mm, mm. Yeah, I've not touched that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I've held the Lenovo. I've held
I mean,
the Ally, the MSI Claw. Actually, the one I'm really looking forward to that should be launched at Computex is Zotac's new handheld.
oh, but it isn't the Zotac. So I saw that at Computex last year,
Hmm.
the Zone,
Yeah,
and they did actually end up releasing it, but it was a very limited release.
yeah,
And yeah, like yeah, I never got one in. Yeah,
yeah,
so I do wonder. Yeah, I do wonder what their second go around is.
yeah. They were showing it off at CES
Really?
this year. Yeah,
Oh, I don't think I
with
saw that.
the HX370 AI
Hmm.
APU from AMD. Um, so, and I think they said it should be launched officially sometime around Computex. So that's
Hmm.
the one I'm kind of looking forward to. Uh, but
Oh no, I did see this. Okay. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't look that different though, design aesthetic wise.
right, right.
Yeah, yeah. Did you get to touch it last Computex?
Computex, no.
Oh, okay.
I didn't go to last Computex. I will be at this Computex. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
We'll hook up. Um, yeah, I did ergonomically. I wasn't a huge fan, to tell you the truth.
Hmm.
But I did kind of like that this. So I, so I am a weirdo who has a trackball. I'm a trackball guy.
My
and one of the
friend,
things.
my friend.
Hey, nice. I like it. Red ball club.
Yes,
Red ball
yes.
club. The thing I like, one of the things I like
I knew
about
I
the
liked you.
trackball. Man, we're way too similar.
I
Like
know.
we need to stop this. It's probably like criminally insane to have us too close together. Um, I like the I can't remember the nomenclature for it, but the scroll wheel around the ball,
Hmm.
at least on the one I have. And I thought that was an interesting thing that they had on theirs was like a scroll around the thumbsticks.
Uh-huh.
I don't know when you would use it other than just like if you were browsing the web or scrolling
Yeah.
reading something in a game or something, I guess. But like that was interesting. I'd never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
gaming handhelds.
So where's your primary click on yours?
My thumb.
Your thumb, perfect.
Yeah, so
Yeah, mine's down
mine
here.
mine sits it like that. So the
Yeah.
thumb. Yeah.
And then my scroll is also on the thumb, which I really like.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because this one has the scroll wheel around or outside of the ball.
Okay.
So
Oh yeah,
yeah.
you
So
have the
yeah,
watch dial
exactly.
essentially.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha,
yeah, yep, yep.
gotcha.
So
Yeah, mine's a four-way scroll, and so it can slide back and forth, but they can also jog up and down for your side to side.
oh, cool.
So
Okay.
which is
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
really nice feature to have.
Oh, that is nice.
And I
Yeah.
never have to move my thumb; it's all just right there. So
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, man, I also I would love to know
Actually,
more information
sorry,
about.
sorry, I'm wearing my shirt today. I forgot.
Wow,
Completely
that's
forgot I was wearing that
hilarious. Wait. So how did you get into trackballs then? What's your story?
shirt. I've been using trackball since early 2000s, probably. I mean, I still use regular mice, for a lot of different things, but I think I switched over full time somewhere around 2012, 2013. And it was simply for looking for improved ergonomics because I basically had a desk job at that point. So I was spending 8 hours in front of a computer and then another 3 hours at home in front of a computer. And wrist and everything else was like, it's cramping up. I don't want to live with carpal tunnel the rest of my life. I also play guitar. I also do all these other things. I can't have all these ailments. So I was like, let's think seriously about ergonomics and settled on the large ball trackballs. I like a
Oh,
finger
that's
ball.
awesome.
Um,
Yeah. Oh man.
So
Yeah. And it's a good fidget item too. I fidget too much.
Oh
People
yeah.
always complain I fidget too much. But yeah, no, so I went to audio engineering school, and so one of the best tools that I learned there was having a trackball for scrubbing
Hmm.
in Pro Tools. And so I just got used to it. I interned and then later got a job at a post house
Yeah, yeah,
that everything was trackballs. And so yeah, since 2008,
yeah.
I've been a trackball user. But yeah, people are saying some people. There's actually somebody in the chat, the Rourke Ponzi. I'm gonna say their name wrong again. That they game with their trackball, and then Technicolor Tube, friend of the show, says I can't game. I can't game with my trackball. It feels odd. I don't game with a trackball. Do you game with a trackball?
I do.
Oh, you do. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
And I'm
Do you have to
actually
adjust at
quite
all or
good.
no?
I'm actually
Oh,
quite good with it. So,
do you,
um,
oh, you have a link for the shirt. Is this a shirt that you make?
no, this is
Oh, no.
Veronica Explains. She's another
Oh
YouTuber,
yeah,
fantastic
okay.
YouTuber. Yeah,
Yeah, I know her.
she has the best
Oh, I don't know
shirts.
her, but
Yeah,
oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
Oh man, I had no idea was she was a trackball person.
Yes, yeah. So she's got a trackball person shirt. She has a 568B termination shirt. So it's white, orange, orange. It shows Cat 6 termination.
Oh,
I've
nice.
got that one. A couple of, she has the best shirts of any tech merch people that I know.
Test your backups. Yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty good. Okay.
Yeah,
Man,
I
thank
think
you
I
for
also have her 321 backup shirt too. So
that. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, trackballs. Anyway, we had a surprise extra topic.
yeah,
Trackballs.
trackballs.
Man, that's the other thing too, is that like I've pretty much always exclusively used this Kingston, or I'm sorry, not Kingston, Kensington
Kensington, yeah, yeah.
expert mouse trackball.
Hmm.
The only difference since 2008 is that they made a wireless version.
Yeah.
So like, yeah,
Uh,
and I've tried other ones, but usually the ball's too small. I like big
yes.
balls.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I was on a Logitech one for years and years, and it was an optical one, and it was a finger, but it was like a 1.5 inch ball, maybe 1 inch ball. It's just too
yeah,
small.
it does not feel the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So it is funny that that technology is like rarely like I wonder if there's a YouTube channel that all they do is just review trackballs.
Huh.
Can you imagine just like somebody who just like uploads one video every maybe 6 months? Just like, ooh, I got a brand new trackball into testing.
Yeah.
Surprise, I had 6 weeks to test it because, nobody's releasing these things super
Yeah.
fast over here.
What's really funny is so I did a video on this ball. This is the Elecom Huge, and it has been my trackball of choice. I own 3 of these things now. I bought my first one I think in 2017, and I bought another one in 2020 and another one in like 2022. And I use all 3 of them. It's not that I bought one to replace them. It's I bought one and then I bought one for another PC and then I bought one for another place. Um,
Oh, and that's actually really cheap.
yeah, it's $60.
Wow.
It's really affordable, and 9 buttons, fully programmable. And so you've got your standard forward, back, right click, but there's also macro keys that you can add to this. It's got the 4-direction scroll wheel. It's got the 2-inch ball, and they make it in a wired and a wireless.
Dang,
And
okay.
it's
Yeah, I
great.
might try one of these. Huh. The chat is blowing up with all these comments
All
about
the ball
balls.
tons, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Is this what you do over here at Craft Computing? Just talk about balls?
That's exactly right.
I love it.
Yeah.
And yes, you got to keep your balls clean. That's one of the worst parts is like every once in a while, I'll be fidgeting because I'll take the ball out and then I'll notice that the little contact roller things are just like gunked up with
Yeah.
little gunk. I just had to clean mine right now.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
what
I
was
clean
doing it.
mine
Like the
maybe
worst
once a
part of
month. Yeah.
Yeah. I need to remember.
Yep. A link, please. I would be happy to link that.
Are you sponsored? Maybe we should. You gotta
Oh,
get
I've
that
got
hot.
affiliate links, so
Yeah. Well, you got to get that hot Elecom sponsorship. Yeah. I need to get Kensington to sponsor the full nerd.
yeah, there you go.
Jeff's new channel, Balls Computing. I like it. Craft Balls Computing.
Yep. I have both the wired and the wireless. They both work fantastically well. The wireless is a 2.4 and it's a proprietary dongle, which I don't like as much. I wish it was Bluetooth. But
yeah, I want to get one of those in.
There we go. Cool. Yeah, hot ball news here on Craft Computing.
Hot ball news, yeah. Sharing our balls. Only balls.
That's right. You know what else is hot news? And we'll get into the beer news in a second, but I'm a device company now. I don't know if you knew this. I'm selling devices now.
That looks like some hot device action.
Yes. So
what can you do with that?
This is my rack mount temperature sensor. It is designed for server racks. It is designed to be more accurate and more open than environmental sensors that are on the market today. So your room alerts, your APCs, your Eatons, anything that does environmental sensing for your server room, this is better than it. So this is OpenViro. This is our first official product. This is the Axe PoE. It's a power over Ethernet temperature monitor. Has 2 sensor probes on it. So one plugs in there, the other plugs in right there. It's designed to basically give you temperature of the front and the rear of your rack, so your hot and your cold side. And it's $149. So
that sounds like a deal.
It's far less expensive than anything else in the market. The closest thing is double the price. Is Room Alert at $299, and this works over standard SNMP. So whatever monitoring software you're already using for your data center, your home lab, whatever else to monitor every other metric of your network, this will plug right into and it's plug and play. It's accurate to 0.5 degrees Celsius out of the box and has a 0.01 degrees Celsius fidelity. So you get very, very accurate temperature charting. You can actually see trends develop before they develop. Because out of most other monitors, you get stair-stepped results because you can only see a 1 degree difference.
That sounds like junk.
Yeah, exactly. But OpenViro.com, you can pre-order them now. We're selling them through CrowdSupply. CrowdSupply is going to be our worldwide vendor for that. They're available worldwide. $8 shipping in the US, $18 internationally.
I've got 2 questions for you.
Sure.
One's a serious question, one's a joke.
Yeah.
The serious one is, so are these like external sensors that you plug into it?
Yes. So the sensors themselves,
are they little probes?
They're little guys that look like this.
Okay.
And this is one of our prototype units. The final version is going to be just the little bottom section here.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the thermal probe itself. This plugs in with a standard RJ12 cable.
Okay.
We include cables in the box, or if you want to get custom length cables, it's just an RJ12 data cable, 6-pin, 6 connector cable. And each of these can run up to 2 of the probes. $149 gets you the main brain and then one of the thermal probes, and then it's $29 for the second probe if you want the second one. So again,
nice.
Incredibly affordable, and the firmware is going to be open source as soon as the pre-order campaign is over.
Nice. Well, my second question is, can I help you brainstorm a tagline for this?
Sure.
What if you just said, the more you buy, the more you save?
There you go. I mean,
yeah. Would that work? Like, just
Yeah.
buy more. I mean, because you need more than just one of these, right? In
Absolutely.
your server rack, you know.
Yeah.
Like you got to monitor a bunch of stuff. So
Yeah. Honestly, what I'm looking for is I would love one company to say, you know what, we're going to deploy 400 of these. Like that's kind of the ball that I'm waiting to drop on this whole thing is.
Wait, the ball?
Sorry, balls were on my mind. Is a company to give me a chance and be able to deploy this in mass and make it work. But it does work, and it works quite well. So
Nice.
We've already sold a little over 100 units on the pre-order. Pre-order is going to be going for about another 4 weeks. And yeah.
I mean, I feel like I need to buy one just so I can like stick them in my house and just be like, huh,
Sure.
how warm is it here in my office compared to out in the hallway? 'Cause
If
usually the office is warm.
Yeah, if you want really accurate temperature sensing, this is definitely a device that'll do that for you. Let me open up the page and I'll show you the chart real quick. What is
Also, real quick, watch out. Nick from Gear Seekers is in the chat.
Oh no,
so we gotta be quiet.
I mean, hey Nick. I actually got to see Nick in person for the first time at CES this year.
Nice.
He was there, and we finally got to meet in person like 6 years later. So,
and he smells really good, right?
I will not deny that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nobody can ever say he smells bad.
That's right.
Because that's a lie.
So this is
that's trash.
This is the temperature reporting from an APC unit that I have.
I would hate that.
And this is actually kind of the impetus of us developing a better sensor. Is you pay anywhere from $400 to $800, and this is the data that you get out. This is my sensor captured at the same polling rate at the same location.
I mean,
that's the same data.
Empirically better.
Yeah. Yeah. These sensors were placed about 2 inches apart from each other in the server rack and recorded over 24 hours. And so this is the exact same time, exact same location, exact same 60-second polling rate. But you can see the fidelity in OpenViro versus what you got. See this little dip right here?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I opened the server door.
Just to check to see who was still working.
Yeah. So,
can you see that dip with the other guys?
No, you cannot. It's just stair stepped right there, and you can see it's between 1 and sometimes 2 degrees Celsius per jump when it does it, but you have to wait for the full degree Celsius to change before you get the next metric. It's great for a post-mortem. You can go, holy crap, our server room got to 32 degrees Celsius today. After you've had a problem and when you're trying to diagnose when the problem started, versus in the moment, hey, is the server room a little warm? You can see at a moment's notice which direction that graph is trending.
This is more like Jeff's anti-aliasing. This is a JLSS. Jeff learning super sampling. Yeah. Takes out the stair stepping.
Except there's no AI in this.
There's no AI. Oh,
there's no AI.
I'm out. I'm sorry.
No, this is 8K.
I need
rendering.
AI and everything.
This is just higher resolution rendering, is what this is.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So yeah.
Congratulations.
They're for sale. Thank you. But yeah, they're available for pre-order now. We'll be shipping sometime around the end of summer.
Where can I get this thing? Where's the link?
Openviro.com. I will post the link right now.
It's not even in the description, man.
Have you ever done this? I've been failing lately.
Wow.
Openviro.com is the easiest way to get there. You can also look me up on CrowdSupply, OpenViro if you search for that, or if you just Google OpenViro. I chose that name because it's white space on the internet. So
nice. Sweet.
Yeah.
Heads up, I need to go in like 15 minutes, so
not a problem. So
yeah.
Well, at this point the show is yours because we've got some Bay Area beer news to cover.
Yeah.
So,
well, you sent me the show notes, and I was like, and then yeah, you have tech, you've got games/entertainment, and then you have beer news, a section at the bottom, and it was empty. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what the hell?
Well,
Jeff?
we can't have that.
Yeah, you can't have empty news. So I am bringing the hot Bay Area beer news. I'm like your man, the reporter on the street.
Yeah, we got a man on the ground.
I'm in the chopper. Yeah, like, hey, listen, for all the people who are in Oregon who care about Bay Area beer news.
Right.
Well, I'm your guy. Come to me.
Well, I'm there a couple of times a year, and so I do care. I want you to know that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, the big news, which actually is like, I'm not joking. This is not a joke. Wait. The kids would say no cap. No.
Right.
No. Would
Yeah.
they say no
Yeah,
no
no,
cap?
no cap. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's the
There we
right
go.
terminology
Yeah,
for
I
the
got it right.
situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ian's got to correct me. He's the Gen Alpha slang guy.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, two breweries that are well known here in the Bay Area, Fort Point and Hen House, are merging. They're not. I mean, the headline for the article I put in here from the North Bay Business Journal. That's how you know it's serious. It's a business journal is reporting on this.
Yeah.
They merge amid challenges for craft beer. I don't know if we want to get into that. But Fort Point, one of my favorite things about Fort Point is they have a small little tasting room at the Ferry Building in San Francisco. So the Ferry Building is like a popular destination for tourists or whatever. It's got a bunch of like small craft shops that you can go to in there. Obviously, that's where some of the ferries dock. You get this beautiful view down Market Street in San Francisco. And you got this iconic clock tower above it, and they had this little just cute little tasting room like at the front of it and like a beer can wall. Really cool. Whenever I think of Fort Point, I always like that's usually where I'm drinking a Fort Point beer
Yeah, yeah.
is taking somebody who's from out of town, walking down the Embarcadero and being like, "Hey, let's get a beer."
Yeah.
So yeah, I like their beer. And then Hen House, I tell you the truth, I'm not a huge fan of Hen House. My wife Lindsay is because she loves IPAs. So she likes Hen House stuff. But yeah, they're merging together, and at least according to this article, once again from North Bay Business Journal, says that they're going to essentially be the fourth biggest. What did they say? Oh, I can't see it anymore because I'm not subscribed.
Oh.
Dang it. Oh, I hate that. Oh, don't talk to me about
If,
that.
if you refresh the page and then hit escape repeatedly as soon as it loads, it doesn't load the script to block you out. That's how I'm viewing it. You just have to stop the page before it progresses the script to blur it.
Okay, well, anyway, yeah, sorry. Yeah. Anyway, it now becomes one of the biggest breweries that you can.
Creating
can get to
Northern
in the Bay
California's fourth largest craft brewer.
Which is pretty big.
Yeah.
That's pretty big. There's a lot of craft brewers out here.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, Sierra Nevada is a North California craft brewer. So,
well, and you had Anchor Steam. I mean, RIP.
Yep.
Or I'm sorry, Anchor Brewing.
Yeah.
So I don't know where that sits. I know I'd heard some of the old employees were trying to get, like get the rights to repurpose that or whatever.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Anyway, the other thing, and I believe this is a Hen House thing, is that yes, it is. So some people might know this, some people might not. I love a good conspiracy theory. Do you like conspiracy theories?
Oh, of course.
And so they have a lot of their beers are named after conspiracy theories, like Denver Airport is one of them. If you don't know about Denver Airport, yeah. So like while I'm not a big fan of their beers, I am a big fan of them naming it that after conspiracy theories. So,
yeah.
Have you ever been to either of these breweries? Or had beer from either of them?
I don't think I have. I recognize Hen House. I know I've heard of them. I don't recognize Fort Point.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I just beer wise, I like Fort Point a little bit better.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, cool stuff. And then let me get back to the show notes. There we go. And the other one is something that everybody loves to talk about.
Oh yes,
because it's literally everywhere. But these damn tariffs are coming for our beer. That's how could they?
Yep.
You can come after our PC parts, but don't come after our beer. Just kidding. Don't come after our PC parts.
Well, as it turns out, we import a lot of aluminum and CO2.
Yeah, which I mean, I don't know. I'm not generally thinking about aluminum or CO2 in my daily life, even though I use a lot of aluminum and CO2. But that actually kind of surprises me. I would have expected that that's something that can be manufactured locally. Like,
the U.S. doesn't produce a lot of aluminum. We import most of our raw aluminum, and so we do a lot of manufacturing with aluminum in the States. But yeah, most of the raw components come from overseas. Most of our aluminum actually comes from Canada, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think that's what it said in this article.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was weird. Also, the um, we've got a lot of gas here in America. I'm surprised we can't just bottle that up or
Right.
put
Yeah.
it in a canister. So I don't know how they make CO2. Somebody's in a factory somewhere just sweating on a line,
Yeah.
just oh man, I got to get more CO2 out.
Yeah.
Right? Is that how it works? Um, so yeah. So anyway, yeah, tariffs. Yeah, we complain about tariffs for PC components and have been for a number of months, which sucks. But it also really sucks that it's hitting us hard in beer. Because guess what? I don't know what you pay for beer up in Oregon, but beer is pretty actually pretty expensive here in the Bay Area anyway. And so yeah, if we're gonna get hit by this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
I don't like it. Maybe Nick can tell us how cheap their beer is in Australia. But then again, have I ever had an Australian beer?
I've had
I don't know.
Australian beer.
Yeah, was it
Yeah.
good?
It was actually pretty decent. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. What's a big brewery that I might have heard of?
I'm trying to remember who I had over there. I haven't been to Australia, but I've had a couple different Australian viewers send me beer as well. Um,
I got to get in on this racket.
the burden I bear, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's
That's
just
so.
tough.
Oh.
Um,
Well, I'm sorry. Yes, it's pronounced aluminium.
yeah. He was trying to correct us, and but he put an
I know.
extra
I'm
I in there,
sorry.
and I said, well, maybe if you spelled it right, you'd be able to say it right.
Yeah. Oh, Foster's.
Was it
Duh.
Foster's? Well, no, that's how you say beer over in Australia, because Foster's is Australian for beer, right?
well, but it's got to be Australian. Why would they have that whole marketing
It's
campaign
totally
if
not
it wasn't
Australian.
Really? Oh, okay. Well, crap.
Yeah.
Oh, look at yeah. Even Nick confirms it.
Yep.
Dang it.
Yeah. No, it's not an
Alton
Aussie beer.
Brewing. I don't think I've. Wait, but so wait. What were they trying to market to Australians? And they're like,
No, they're trying to market something foreign to Americans.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
weird.
Foster's
Wait,
is
is
literally
it
an
kind of like
American lager.
Stella? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh god damn it. Okay, well that's
Yeah.
stupid.
You've been
Uh,
duped.
Yeah, my whole worldview has been turned upside down. I don't like this. Yeah, okay. Well, maybe I guess I just need to go to Australia. Maybe we'll do a tour. Maybe we'll do a beer tour in Australia.
I think we
Hit
need to
up
make
all
that
the
happen.
breweries, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nick can show us around. It sounds like he doesn't drink, but
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Also, he's saying Foster's is an imported beer there. Oh
Yeah.
man, I was in Germany for IFA last year, and I remembered how hilarious it is that beers like Corona or Tecate
Uh-huh.
are expensive imported beers.
Yeah.
When I'm like, oh yeah, okay, well,
Yeah. That's the swill I won't even drink at home.
Tecate, Corona, no.
Well, Tecate, okay. Tecate,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I'll crush a Tecate quicker than I'll crush a Miller or a
Yeah.
Coors or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, do a beer tour in Italy, says Ronnie. Yeah, let's do it. That's what we should do. Adam and Jeff tour the world
I like it.
with beer, and we meet up with different people in different places and just drink beer and talk about crafting and computing
I
and
think
balls.
we could make that work.
I like it.
Totally.
And Nick says he has a VB long neck for us. I don't know what that means, but it sounds vaguely sexual, so I'm in.
I'll try anything once. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? So Pabst. So my ex-wife and I used to run art galleries, and one of the art galleries was actually sponsored by Pabst, and so they would like drop off cases of Pabst
Uh-huh.
before every gallery opening, which was like once a month. And like, so I can drink a Pabst, but I burnt myself out on him years ago. So yeah, I would not call myself a Pabst guy yet, or anymore.
And Nick says, I just need to make it to Computex, and I will be at Computex this year. I have it confirmed. I have my hotel reserved, so
Wait, are you staying in the same hotel as us?
yes.
Oh, okay. Well, we're screwed then. Yeah, it sounds like a party then.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna have a good time then.
Yeah.
I like
I
it.
actually I actually got us a 2-room suite as well because I wanted a
Ooh.
place to sit down and relax, and I wasn't
Mm.
sure where I could do the podcast from, and I want to do a podcast from Computex, and so I want enough space where I could sit down and maybe have some people in the room, so we're not just like all sitting on one king size bed or some crap.
Yeah,
So
actually, after we had our at CES, we were supposed to do the podcast from. Usually, we do it like at a booth sponsored by whoever's booth, but they had to cancel last minute. It was Asus because their booth was crowded, and so we just ended up doing it at the hotel room. And I was
mhm.
like, oh, thank God, it was actually really nice. So now I'm like defaulting to being like, let's always do everything from the hotel room.
Yeah.
The internet is kind of the problem, but I think we have a backup solution, so
Yep.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, at CES this year, I've done live broadcasts from CES a couple of different times from a couple different locations, and this year we just did it from the hotel room, and it was great. We stayed at the Lux and Blue, and we were on the 53rd floor, and so we had a gorgeous view out of our window. And so as the sun was going down, the whole Vegas Strip was behind us, and it was nice. That was a
Nice.
good place to do it.
I like it. Yeah. No, and I'm gonna save some money. I'm just gonna stay in Nick's room. He doesn't know,
Oh,
but
there you go. Yeah,
yeah.
perfect.
Claire said it was okay, so
Were we
I'm
all
sure
doing
it'll
that?
be. Yeah.
I thought
Oh,
that
you're
was the
gonna be there
plan.
too.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah. We should all just stay in Nick's room.
yeah.
It'll be fun. He'll bring us long necks, whatever I don't think he explained what the hell those were. So
Well, if we're in the hotel
he'll
room, I
show
think
me.
we're getting long necks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then yeah, Ian said it's $3,000, 3,000 US dollars
Hmm.
to book the Grand Hyatt right now.
Yeah.
That's expensive.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I think mine 2,800 is what it cost me.
Oh, I
So
booked months ago, so
yeah.
yeah, I got in
I booked
way less than that.
mine 6 or 8 weeks ago. So yeah, it was.
Okay,
But
yeah.
it was $2,800.
Okay, Nick's gonna send us a video on the internet. We might have to do some age verification.
Do I have
Scan
to make
our
an account? Scan
faces.
face?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to watch whatever Nick's gonna send us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Nick's not gonna store it on his servers. Yeah, yeah. And Ian is slumming it up at a hot spring hotel again.
Yeah. Don't worry, Nick. I trust you with my face.
I trust Nick with my whole body. That's true. So
Oh well, I
anyway,
think that's as good a place as any to end it.
yeah. This is punchy Friday, Adam.
Yes.
End of day Friday.
I like this free and loose, Adam. It's good.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, yeah,
Well, this
nobody's watching. It's fine.
that's right. Yeah. Well, this has been episode 378 of Talking Heads. Join us every Wednesday night on our normal time, 6 p.m. Pacific time, for the latest in beer and tech news. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Make sure to drop us a like. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what Nick could do to your face, I guess. What you'd be okay. I don't
Wow.
know.
Wow, those Australians. That's crazy.
Let us know what you think a VD long neck is. How's that?
Yes, please. And submit AI generated photos.
Yes, yeah, for verification purposes.
Yeah.
Adam, anything you'd like to promote? Floor is yours.
PC World. We don't print magazines anymore. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Please don't send us money for a magazine subscription. You can get a digital magazine, I guess, but it's just repurposed, repackaged internet content. No, youtube.com/PC World is where you will see a lot of my face. So I'm sorry. Also, if you like podcasts, I would say the Full Nerd is probably the second best podcast about PCs and beers because we also don't talk about beer, so we're just inferior
Yeah,
compared to craft computing. So yeah,
right.
if you want another podcast that just talks about computers, ugh,
just the boring
lame,
crap.
boring,
Yeah.
then yeah, check out the Full Nerd over on Deezer. Supposedly we have a huge Deezer fan
Huge
base.
Deezer audience.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So yeah, no, thank you. And yeah, look forward to Computex. I mean, I am flying out a month from today. No, actually, no, way less than that. Oh
Less than a
crap.
month. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm flying out on the 13th. I'm going a little early.
Oh wow.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're flying out the Monday or the morning of the 17th, I believe. And so
Okay.
we'll be there like
So
Sunday at noon ish or something like that.
yeah, you're just under a month
Yeah.
to go. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Need to figure something out.
So
Somebody's
you
got
doing
to
like a
make a
full 2
schedule or
weeks there,
something.
or what are you doing?
Well, no, because we'll land on Wednesday evening.
Okay.
I'm doing that thing, and then I'm leaving on that, so a week from that Saturday. So it's like a week and a half.
Okay.
I like to
Yeah.
get in a little early just in case there's something going on, or
Yeah.
adjust to whatever. I am trying to get my hands on a waifu GPU if I can.
Oh yeah, of course.
I heard there's ones that smell. Steve did a video, and I really, really, really got to sniff one of those waifu GPUs. So, like,
if you get a hold of one, I might have to bring one back with me as well. Yeah,
yeah. So I'll be checking that out
for reasons.
for reasons. Yeah, I gotta
of course.
sniff it. Yeah, I'm the guy who likes to sniff things. So
Yeah. All right.
well, anyway, thank you for
Thank you.
having me on.
This
I
was fun.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Need to get you on the full nerd again.
Absolutely. Be more than happy to. So Will can bash me for turning on TV smoothing again.
Yeah, and actually, you know what? You got to make it up to Lindsay too, because now she calls you late Jeff, not Turtle Jeff anymore, because you
I
were
was
late
in
to.
studio.
No, to coming lating to coming to our when we met up at that brewery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You were like, oh yeah, I'll be there in like 10 minutes. Now Lindsay calls you
in my
late, Jeff.
defense, we were hanging out with the founder of Oxide Computing, and
She doesn't care.
I know.
She just knows, oh, you have a turtle. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
But now it broke
Yeah,
my heart.
I can make it up with pet pics. So
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
No, not turtles though. I don't want to.
Anyway, thank you all so much for joining. Thank you, Adam, again for being on. And as always, we'll see you next week.
I'm Adam.
It still doesn't work.